Hello, my name is Mark Johnson, and I'm the founder of StudentLoansRx, and I'm also a wealth advisor at RBF Wealth Advisors in St. Louis, Missouri. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I hope it's informative, and I hope it gives you a little bit of a sense of who we are and how we can help. So as I said, I'm a wealth advisor with RBF Wealth Advisors in St. Louis. We are a registered investment advisor and fiduciary. We're also independent insurance agents, which means we don't work for any big company. There's 11 investment professionals at the firm. We don't work for some large bank or large insurance company. So we can offer you independent, objective advice. We've been serving clients since 1984. We currently manage over 600 million in assets. We have emerging healthcare professionals all over the country. We have over 200 years of investment experience at the firm with 4 certified financial planner professionals. For those clients of ours who hire us to invest their assets, we custody most of our assets with Fidelity Investments. So we've been doing this a long time. So why are we talking about student loans? So just to give you a little background on how I got started in student loan repayment planning, back in 2013, I had the opportunity to do a presentation to a group of orthodontic residents here at St. Louis University in town. I ran into a young resident at a coffee shop. He invited me to do a presentation to their group. And so I was thinking, what would, there's about 40 of them, what would these young professionals getting ready to enter their careers, starting out an orthodontist is going to make, $175 to maybe $225,000, right out of school, right out of residency. And so I said, what would they need to know? What should they know about money as they're entering their careers? So I put together what I would consider a financial planning 101 presentation. I talked about budgeting. I talked about the importance of getting disability insurance, getting a little bit of life insurance while you're young and healthy. That's going to protect those you love in the future, whether you're married or not. You'll probably get married, you probably have kids while you're young and healthy. Term insurance is cheap. Get a little policy now. And then start your investments. Build up an emergency savings fund. So really basic stuff. Financial planning 101. But they may not have ever taken a finance class, so I think it was very helpful and useful information to share. I didn't mention the word student loans one time in that presentation because I didn't know anything about student loans. Our industry, which I love, I've been in the business now for over 30 years, not one exam, not one continuing education class I've ever taken has taught me anything about student loan repayment. That topic is absent from the financial advisory and investment industry. Crazy. Crazy as it sounds, it's true. And so at the end of that presentation, one of the residents said, "Hey, do you know anything about student loan repayment? No one is helping us with that." And I said, "I don't know anything about student loans. Let me see if I can find a resource to bring in and talk to you about it." And so I'm a pretty resourceful guy. I poked around St. Louis. I did some searching on the internet. And, I really couldn't find a resource that I could invite to come and speak to these ortho residents. And so that's when I had a eureka moment. And that was the start of Student Loans RX. For the first 2 years, we just worked with those dental residents down at St. Louis University. Then we had a dental school move into town. Then we did some work with a medical school. So our business just took off. And fast forward to today, 2025, we've helped hundreds of emerging healthcare professionals build financial plans in the context of their student loan debt. And so that's the key piece about what we do. We believe in financial planning. And as you'll see in a minute here, we believe it's critically important that you build your financial plan around your student loans. Student loans is not a one-off. It's not like, I'm going to build a financial plan and then I've got $400,000 of student loans over here that I need to do something with. No. This is an integral part, should be an integral part of an overall financial plan. And so we've had the pleasure of working now with hundreds of emerging healthcare professionals, many in the dental profession, but others as well, medical, pharmacists, veterinarians, ophthalmologists, anybody coming out of school with a lot of student loan debt in healthcare. You may be one of those graduates that's very concerned about your student loan debt. And what are we going to do? Well, there's been a lot of chaos since COVID, right? President Trump and his first administration turned off student loans on March 13th, 2020. And the Biden administration extended that forbearance. And it's been Now we have President Trump again, and it's just been complete chaos since COVID. And with all the changes going on in the Department of Education, it's still unclear what's going to happen with student loans. That's a whole nother topic. But the point that I would like to make here is, would you like to work with a professional, or would you like to have a resource that has helped hundreds of emerging healthcare professionals navigate through the ins and outs of student loans for over a decade? And that's one of the benefits of working with us. And so the purpose of this video is to introduce not only ourselves, but the services that we can provide to help you as you're making that transition from school into either residency or your career. Whether you're a dental professional, a medical professional, pharmacist, veterinarian, whether you work in the optical area, we're in a position to help you. Benjamin Franklin, very wise man, came up with a lot of usable quotes that many of us have used over the years. He said, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. And I wholeheartedly agree with Benjamin on that topic. Sometimes life is busy, right? Life is busy. And so we think that we can kind of go through life shooting from the hip, if you will, and that we'll take care of it when we address the things that are right in front of our face at the time, and we maybe don't think too far down the road because life is busy. But I just want to encourage you to take a step back and invest a little bit of time in creating a financial plan. It's going to serve you well. It's going to pay dividends over time. And it could save you a tremendous amount of money. Oftentimes, we will get connected to folks that graduated 2 or 3 years ago, and we'll do a free consultation, which we offer free 30-minute Zoom consults. And I'm thinking at the end of that, man, I wish I would have met them 2 or 3 years ago, because they kind of stumbled their way through trying to do it themselves and made some pretty costly errors in their financial planning. We are launching a video series where we're going to share a lot of information on what we know and what our financial planning process is. So if somebody says, I really want to try this myself, I feel I've got the time and the interest and can learn these concepts myself without hiring a financial professional to do a full service financial plan for me, we're going to release a video series that is going to go through all of the information, and then you'll have the opportunity to schedule a 1-hour consultation as part of that package if that's something that if you want to try to do this yourself. Now, I'll use dental as an example. If I got a sore tooth, I may take a day or two and see if, maybe I got something stuck in my tooth, and, let me floss really good, and, maybe I just bit down on something too hard and it'll heal in a couple of days. But after a few days of pain, I'm gonna schedule an appointment with my dentist. They have the education, they got the training, they got the tools, and that's what I would do. So I don't try to do a whole lot of stuff on my own unless I've got some expertise, unless I've got the interest, and then also I've got the time. So if you don't have all three of those things, you probably want to hire us or another financial advisor that has expertise in this area. But if you do want to try to do it yourself, we're going to have some resources available to you. So this is really popular. This is something in our industry called the financial planning pyramid. And what this demonstrates is that as you enter your careers and as you get older, there's various stages within your financial life. And what's really important, like in any endeavor, is that you start out with a good foundation. So if you're going to build a house, you want to make sure you got a good foundation before you build a new house. That's critical. Okay, you can put a lot of time and effort into picking out the furniture and light fixtures and all that kind of stuff, but if you don't have a good foundation and the house collapses, all your time and effort spent on picking out the right light fixtures or cabinets for your home is going to be a waste of time. And it was an expensive adventure without a good foundation. So when we talk about a wealth foundation, we're talking about things like getting the best employment agreement. And we actually help our clients. We give them some ideas on how to negotiate the best employment agreement. Making sure you have a budget. Everything you do with your financial plan is going to be based on having a solid budget, meaning you know what your income is and you know what your expenses are, and you're going to live within your means. And you want to carve out some money for investments. You want to carve out some money for risk management like insurance. And so it's not just about, I want to buy a house and I want to go on trips and yeah, I've got to have some food. No, there's several components to a budget, and it's very important. We have some online tools that help with that for our clients, but having a solid budget is really important. Obviously, if you got 400,000 or 500,000 or more of student loan debt, even a couple 100,000 of student loan debt, that's going to be a critical piece to your financial plan. You want to make sure that you're making wise choices on what you do with your student loans. Right now, it's 2025. Anybody getting new student loans through the federal government, they're paying 7 or 8% or more on those loans. That's crazy. On a $400,000 at 7%, that's $28,000 a year of interest. So just think about that. $28,000 a year of interest. That's a new car, nice car, every single year that you have that level of student loan debt. So it's critically important that you make good choices with what you do with your student loans. You want to protect your income. You've gone to school for 4 years, 8 years. If you're a medical resident, maybe you've been in school for a dozen years, and you've got these very specialized skills. So what happens if you're an MD and you get injured and you can't be a surgeon anymore? What are you going to do? Maybe you're going to go teach, but are you going to see a decline in income? Probably. Disability insurance is super important. Super important. You want to have a good policy. We're independent agents. We can help you with that if you like. Life insurance while you're young, even when you're single. I got my first life insurance policy actually when I was 18 years old. I went into the military. And then when I got out 4 years later, at 22, I got my own individual life insurance. I still have that policy today. I'm 57 years old. So I got that policy when I was young and healthy, and that policy now provides protection for my family 30 plus years later, in addition to other insurance that I have. So again, and then an emergency fund. If you become sick or injured and you can't work or you get laid off, like during COVID, a third of my dental professionals got laid off for a period of time, and they were out of work literally for 2 to 3 months. How did they get paid? How did they pay their bills? So all of those things come together. As you enter your career, we're gonna talk about savings and investments and maybe even ownership of a practice depending on the specialty that you're in. And you're going to need some other professionals on your team. You're going to need a tax professional. You may need a legal professional. You're going to need property and casualty if you buy a building or you have some medical equipment or dental equipment. You're going to need to have that insured. And so we want to be that resource for you that can help you navigate through all of those aspects of your life. And then at the end of your life, if you've done well with saving and investing, maybe you're a business owner, you're going to be thinking about, well, how do I give away my wealth? How do I pass that on to the next generation or to a charity or a combination of those? What's the best way of doing that from a tax standpoint, making sure that I've got enough money to last me the rest of my life? So from the time you graduate until you cross over the river into that next life, if you believe that, we're here to help you. Student loan repayment planning is not independent of the rest of your finances. I've already mentioned to that. You've got household expenses, you've got employee benefits and insurance needs, retirement, saving and investing, all of those things. Why is it important to have a financial plan? Why is it important to perhaps engage with a financial professional? Well, you get a coach, somebody that's got some experience in an area that maybe you don't have a whole lot of experience in. You also get the opportunity to share your anxiety with a professional. We can help you navigate that. You get educated along the way. There's some motivation and accountability. So those are all important. Decisions that are going to affect your student loan repayment strategy really come down to two major categories: your anticipated career path along with your family and personal situation. So are you heading off to residency? Are you going to be an associate? If you're going to be an associate, do you get paid on a W-2? Do you get paid on a 1099? There's different implications on that. Private practice ownership, perhaps. If you're going to go work at a nonprofit, maybe a FQHC, perhaps public service loan forgiveness is an option for you. We'll see what the Department of Education says. That may or may not be going away for new enrollees. And then, are you getting married? Want to buy a home, start a family? Maybe you're looking to buy a practice. All of those things are going to be critically important to what you end up doing with your student loans. What strategy is going to take your anticipated career path and your family and personal situation and bring that together into one well thought out plan? There's a variety of student loan repayment plans out there right now. I'm not going to spend any time on that today because we don't know what's going to happen. And so you may say, well, why do we need to work with an advisor? We don't even know what the rules are going to be anymore. What I can tell you about that is, would it be helpful to have somebody who's been helping professionals for the last decade navigate through the ins and outs? Student loans have been in chaos since COVID, so that's going on 5 years. It's hard to believe. 5 years, and we've still been helping dozens and dozens of healthcare professionals with student loans, whether they consolidate, whether they should be taking out their loans and refinancing with a private lender. That was very big during the first part of COVID when interest rates went down to under 3% on private refinancing. We encouraged many of our clients to take their loans out of the federal program, even though there was no interest accruing, refinance them with a private lender. Yes, they would have to start making payments, but now they locked in a rate under 3% in some cases. They are very, very, very happy that we did that a few years ago. So even though we don't know the particulars of any new student loan or income-driven repayment plans coming out from the Department of Education, when those rules are announced, we're going to be there to help those clients that have made the decision that they want to work with us. When someone graduates from either school or residency and enters their career, we've identified initially there's about a three phases. Number one, and these years are kind of rough, but in years 1 through 4, they're probably going to get on an income-driven repayment plan, keep their payment as low as possible, but we need to work on that foundation, right? We need to get that budget in place. We need to get the appropriate amount of disability insurance, maybe a little bit of life insurance. Start saving, building up that emergency savings. Start putting money into your Roth IRA. Make sure you're funding your 401k plan, especially if you have an employer match. So all of those foundational things are going to take place in those first 1 to 4 years, let's say. Then you're settled in your career. Maybe you've changed jobs. You found the right place now where you want to work. Maybe even relocated to a new city, but you're settled. But now maybe you're married. Maybe you've just had your first child, but you're starting to make student loan payments. You can make a larger payment because your income is up. Those are kind of maybe those years 4 through 7. You might also be thinking about buying a practice or getting in a position to do that. And then phase 3 is, okay, I'm settled, got the house, got a couple kids, income is great, doing really, really well. Now I may even be an owner. I'm thinking about hiring an associate, but now I'm in a position to really start hammering these student loans. And that's an exciting time, obviously, to see clients making $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 monthly payments, hammering those things, getting those things knocked out. Many of those cases, we've pulled the loans out of the federal program. We've got a private refinance in place, and we're hammering on those loans. That's exciting. And then the client calls me up and says, oh, by the way, I just made my last student loan payment. Very, very happy. Makes my week. Whatever's going on in life, I get one of those calls. I've had a great week. So working with us to help you create a plan. As I said, we're coming out with a do-it-yourself package. It's going to be a video series where we're going to go through each of those things. How to negotiate the best employment agreement, things to be thinking about. We're not lawyers, but we can give you some ideas in terms of pay and benefits and those kind of things. How to create a budget. Why that's so important, why you need to do it right out of the gate. Don't do it 2 years into your career, right? You will have established a lifestyle. You'll already be spending money. It's really hard to undo. It's like learning to play golf. Don't go play golf for 2 or 3 years and then take lessons, right? Take lessons right out of the gate so you don't have to relearn or unlearn bad habits. So get that budget in place right away. Disability insurance. We'll have a video on insurance planning. We'll have a life insurance. We'll have a video on investment planning. And of course, we're going to have a lot of content on student loan repayment planning. Okay? So that's going to be a video series. If you think you can If you want to do this yourself, or at least start out doing it yourself, it's $199 one-time fee, and we'll have more information about that in the future. If you want some help one-on-one, we have our foundation plans. Our foundation plans are 4 Zoom planning sessions. The first session's about an hour and a half. The other 3 are going to be an hour. Single foundation plan is $399 upfront, and then $30 a month for the first year. Okay, and so that gives you access to us for 12 months, and we're going to schedule 4 Zoom sessions to go through and help you create this plan, help you figure out which is going to be the best student loan repayment strategy. If you're married, our couples plan is $499 plus $30 a month for the first 12 months. If you're going on to residency, it's $299 upfront, okay, plus $30 a month while you're in residency, and that gives you access to us while you're in residency. We help you figure out what to do. You might need a little disability insurance, and so we can help you with a budget, all of those ways that we can help you. And so we offer referral discounts. So if you hire us and you refer one of your friends to us, we provide a $100 discount off of the foundation plan. So anyway, if you got any questions, we'd love to visit with you. And so you can just click on this QR code and schedule a free 30-minute consult with you. Obviously, I've covered a lot of information here. Really, to get into the weeds, we need to know your particular situation. You've got specific questions you want to ask. We're willing to give up 30 minutes of our day to visit with you and see if there's a good fit, see if we can help you in any way, whether it's you've got questions on our DIY, do-it-yourself video series, or if you are interested in getting a disability insurance quote or talk to us about your student loan situation. Maybe you're going to residency, maybe you're interviewing for jobs right now. We'd love to be able to visit with you. You can visit our website for resources. We have a number of resources available on the website, StudentLoansRx.com. We've been very fortunate to be interviewed on a number of the top dental podcasts. I think all of our podcasts on the website right now are dental. Many of the most popular ones that are out there, so you can take a look at those. Now, some of the content in there is getting a little dated because I may have gone through some strategies pertaining to specific income-driven repayment plans like the SAVE plan or revised pay-as-you-earn. Obviously, those plans are kind of on hold right now, but you can get a general sense of who we are and how we work by listening to some of those podcasts. So I really appreciate your time. It'd be our pleasure to, again, schedule a consult with you. You can visit StudentLoansRx.com, or you can, if you're a dental professional, you could also visit our Dental Wealth RX. Our Dental Wealth RX website is really for those dental professionals that have graduated, they're established in their careers, and then there's obviously wealth building stuff that we do, especially for our practice owner clients. But you can look at both of those websites. But if you're just transitioning from school or residency into your career, our StudentLoansRx.com website is going to be the best resource for you. So thank you so much for taking almost a half hour of your time hearing about us, and we hope to see you on a consult. Thank you.